So the Samsung Galaxy A36 has been out for a little bit of time, and you might be trying to figure out how you can kind of compare this against the Galaxy A55. So let's go ahead and kind of do it. Now, first things first, a big thing to keep in mind, when you take a look at the outsides, the Galaxy A36 is giving you a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED display, and it's a pretty big panel. It gets 1900 nits of brightness, which is actually pretty good. It's a Super AMOLED display, and it's 120 Hz as well, which is actually a really nice advantage. And this type of phone, I definitely will tell you, it's very nice. I love being able to go through and have phones like this. And this type of device, for the most part, is definitely going to kill it in my personal opinion. Like, it's going to be a very, very good phone in my personal opinion. With the Galaxy A55, this phone is giving you a 6.6-inch Super AMOLED display. So this one's going to be slightly different. It's going to be smaller just by a little bit. It's still giving you 120 Hz panel, but it is only 1000 nits of brightness. So the Galaxy A36 is giving you a way better display, which I think is something that's super cool to have. I'm personally a big fan of that as well, and I do think this is going to be another one of those really important things to keep in mind there as well. Now, on top of that, when you're kind of looking at their, the rest of the, bodies, they both have USB Type-C ports on the bottom, which is great. You're getting these, I would say you're getting like a pretty good build quality on the Galaxy A55 with an aluminum frame. The Galaxy A36 has a plastic frame, so not the best looking thing of all time, but I probably would tell you on something like the Galaxy A55, it definitely is going to be a better, more premium type of device when it kind of comes down to it. Now, on top of that, when it comes down to their backs, they're both, the Galaxy A55 is actually giving you a glass back inside of that phone, which is actually really interesting. The Galaxy A36 has the plastic back, so definitely not anything super crazy, but it's definitely not going to be like the nicest, best feeling thing of all time either, but definitely with something like the Samsung Galaxy A55, I definitely do think that is going to be a much better type of feeling phone for the most part. When it comes down to the cameras, you're going to be getting kind of like a triple camera setup on both. They're both relatively almost the same megapixel count, although the ultra-wide camera, the Galaxy A55 is a little bit higher. You're getting 4K at 30 on the front and the back, and both of these types of cameras really aren't going to be like that amazing. They're both going to be fairly, basic for the most part. If you're trying to go through and you're trying to like pick up a particular device, these ones might not be the best cameras for you personally. It will just be kind of one of those things, again, that you're just going to have to kind of keep in mind here. Because if you're trying to go through and pick up a phone, you probably want to go through and buy a device that is going to be giving you a better experience. And unfortunately with these ones, they're probably not going to be giving you like the best experience of all time, but they're still going to be good. But you might be wanting a better device out there, and that's just kind of one of those things to keep in mind there from that side. When it comes down to software updates, both these phones are still supported with software. I'm not really too sure how long these phones are necessarily going to be supported, but if you're trying to go ahead and get a device, it does probably make a lot of sense to go and buy a device that is going to be, supported with software just a little bit longer. So I think there's a chance the Galaxy A36 might give you a little bit of an edge there. So I do think this is a pretty big thing to keep in mind. And if you are about to go through and buy a device, it does make a lot of sense to go through and get a device like that. So, this in and of itself, I think is another really important thing to keep in mind there. Then when it comes down to their batteries, they're both giving you 5000 milliamp hours. They're both lacking wireless charging as well, which is kind of unfortunate, but you're still getting like a really, really good type of device here. And both of them are, fairly similar when it comes down to the performances. Like the A55 is giving you the Exynos 1480 chipset with 6 to 12 gigs of RAM. The Galaxy A36 is giving you the Qualcomm Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 chipset with 6 to 12 gigs of RAM. So that right there, you are getting a really, really big difference when it comes down to that side. You're getting, it depends which model you have. There's like 4 different ways of kind of speccing these things out with all those different RAM models. But I would probably tell you for the most part, if you're about to go through and pick up a device, you're probably going to be getting maybe a little bit of a faster phone on the Galaxy A36, but it's going to be so close that it's not really like that big of a deal here either. So to kind of sum it up, I definitely do think both these phones are great. I think the Galaxy A36 is probably a better one here and there, but I think it would make more sense to go and buy something like a Samsung Galaxy S23 if you have the chance, or an S23 FE. If you're able to buy those phones, that makes a lot more sense for me personally, but that's kind of how I see both these phones kind of comparing. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.